I guess I was supposed to walk up that way.
It's perfect.
Okay.
The path you choose always is.
Yes.
And as you choose the path of least resistance every single time, that's the work. Choosing the path of least resistance. Doesn't get as much applause from the other ones whose tongues are hanging out, who resent the ease with which you're living life. But the path of least resistance is the choice.
Thank you.
You could ask yourself, all right, am I going to do this the easy way or the hard way? Am I going to hate you and then work with you? Or am I going to love you and then work with you? It's your choice.
I would like to ask a question about the relationship between magic and the law of attraction.
Well, the law of attraction and a deliberate working with it seems like magic to those who don't understand the consistency of it, the sureness of it, or the adaptation of it. In other words, you want to use the word magic because it feels like magic, because things start happening that weren't happening, and so it feels like magic. But law of attraction is not magic any more than the magic that the magician is offering is magic. He's just skilled at his adaptation of the laws of physics. That was better than you know.
Okay. And I would like to ask a follow-up question. I've heard a lot about vibrational reality.
Before you go there, just hold that for just a little bit, because we want to play with this magic thing a little more. So, magic, as it is described by most people, would be when something unexpected happens, or even something that defies the laws as we know them to be. Well, there's never that kind of magic going on. But what happens that begins to feel magical is that when you begin understanding the only law that matters, which is law of attraction, and when you begin to understand your emotional guidance that lets you know how you're doing relative to law of attraction, and when you begin to consistently hold your thoughts in vibrational places that they have not been before, so that you begin to enact on your behalf the energy that creates worlds. You've got this energy that creates worlds that is flowing to you, and when it flows through you in a non-resisted way, those who stand back, who haven't figured out how to do that, think that you're magic, think that magical things that are happening, or that you're lucky, or that there's some other freak of nature. But it is the way it is supposed to be. You are supposed to have this powerful backup, this powerful support, this powerful leverage, this powerful energy, this powerful concentration, this powerful unconditional focus, this powerful love, this powerful assistant is supposed to be focusing through you, you see. And the more you do it, the less magic it will feel to you. We had that conversation earlier. But the more magic it will appear to others. Because most of the world is not even beginning to dabble in the power that they possess. Yeah. So your follow-up?
My follow-up question has to do with, it's a little bit more esoteric, but the relationship between vibrational...
What could be more esoteric? Then there's this vortex of creation and everything you want is in there. And you have to find some way of creating a vibrational atmosphere so that what's in there can flow over here.
I'm asking because I'm living it, and it's everything that you say is making much more sense than what most people say outside of this room, because now I'm seeing it and things just happen all the time, every day.
Yeah.
So the other day I heard someone talking about the astral plane, and it sounded a lot to me like vibrational reality, and I know that humans use lots of words and symbols to describe things that we can't quite take in fully, but we just want to describe in some roundabout way. Are those the same thing from your perspective?
Close enough, but there's something that we would rather draw your attention to if you want to use that label, and that is seeing through the eyes of Source. We would like you to understand that here we are in a state of non-resistance, knowing who all of you are and knowing what you're up to and focusing with you into the details of your experience, offering all of the clarity and all of the energy vibration that we can focus. And it's a lot. It's powerful, powerful energy that creates worlds. So when you, little by little, bring yourself as you have into vibrational alignment with it so that you allow that powerful focus to flow, we're not focused in some place where there are not buildings. We're not focused in some place where there are not bodies. We're not focused in some place where there is not language. We're focused here with all of you out here on the leading edge, but we're doing it with non-resistance. And we would prefer to call that the astral plane. It's living with all of this detail and all of this expansion and all of this evolution, understanding that there is yet more to be delightfully experienced, you see. It's not nebulous, it's specific. It's not otherworldly, it's here and now. It's real, you see. It's just resistance free is what makes that other label then apply. And as you're describing, as you're using a term like magic, you're tapping into that on a pretty regular basis. So you understand these words better because words don't teach. It's life experience that teaches. But when words sort of stack up with experiences that you've had, then that's when true knowledge is experienced. Really good. Something more?
Okay. One more. I'm going to take every moment I can get. Okay, last question.
It's beneficial to all of them because you're wrapping into a nutshell everything that we've been talking about. Yeah.
Good. I'd like to talk a little bit more about allowing versus resistance and how it relates to possibility versus probability and what most people think of as possible but not probable, and then how probabilities become things that wouldn't be probable become the norm.
Well, it's just words that those are all words and all good words that are describing the degree to which people block themselves from what they want. In other words, from our perspective, rather than probable or possible, we want to call it certain. We want to call it because it exists in certainty that you have to find some way of translating into something that's meaningful for you. And so which word feels better to you in terms of allowing? Possible or probable?
Knowing.
Yeah. Yeah. So you know it, and if it's probable, then that feels more certain than possible to most people. So it's just the momentum. Let's say that when you doubt something, there's a lot of resistance. But if you can not beat the drum of that doubt, it's like the cork that you hold under the water. That's what doubt is. But when you let go of it, it'll bob back up to the surface. So when you stop beating the drum of doubt, momentum, positive momentum will increase because you're not holding it back with resistance. You hearing that? And something that you formerly doubted, as it gains more momentum because of the absence of resistance, then begins to feel more possible, more hopeful. So there's less resistance in hope than doubt. And if you stay focused there just a little longer, there will be less resistance, which will allow more momentum, and the increased momentum will feel like probable instead of possible. And if you keep doing it, then instead of feeling like possible, it just feels certain. And when you reach that place where you know for sure it's coming, and you have no dog in the fight about when it comes, you just know that it's coming, so that you're in that relaxed state. Now, in the absence of resistance, things come quickly. Isn't that interesting? You are getting the hang of how to feel the resistance that you are inserting into the mix because of conditions that you have learned from others, and so you're sort of sticking them in there. In most cases, we love you so much just to make life more interesting. But life can be really interesting when the magic begins. Yeah. Do you feel like you've pushed the reset button? Feel like you know things more clearly now than you did a little bit ago? You feel a sort of eagerness about what's coming next? Yeah.